Hi, I'm Rod from Ladenzall. I thought I'd do something a little different today. It's raining outside today, so there's not much I can do out there. Got everybody fed, so I decided that I'm getting low on goat's milk soap, so I thought I'd do a video on how we do our soap. This is the soap that I do pretty much, well, I've been doing it now probably for 10 years, or longer than that. What am I thinking? Time goes too fast, you can't even remember time anymore. It's probably been 15 years since I started doing this. So first, I guess what we'll do is I'll let you know everything that I use and the amounts that I use. So for me, I use distilled water. The reason you usually use distilled water is because if you live in town, there's usually chlorine in your water, and that will really mess with making soap. So I don't really have to use distilled water here. So you need 2 cups goat's milk, unpasteurized. That's totally organic. It's from my goats. 3 cups. Lye. I use a cup and a half. It's roughly around 12 ounces of lye. Lard is 10 cups. Coconut oil is usually around 2 cups. Sometimes I'll add a little bit more because I find the coconut oil is what gives the soap lather. And everybody likes a lot of lather in their soap. And we use fragrance oil. My favorite is clove. I think it works better than any other one. So that's what we'll be using today. So I guess what we'll do, that's the ingredients that you need. There's not a lot. The trickiest part to making goat's milk soap is temperatures. Temperatures are crucial because if you have something that's going to be too cold or something that's too hot, it won't really turn into soap. It'll just turn into goo. Okay, so I use a big mixer for mine. You can do it by hand, but I just find it takes up way too much time. You need measuring cups, obviously. This is lye. I buy my lye at Home Hardware. I'm not promoting anybody, so yeah, it's just lye. Coconut oil. I like this one, this brand. Measuring cups. My lard, I've already got it on the stove, melting down. It takes a bit of time because you have to do it at a slow heat. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to be doing a lot of editing in this video. Hopefully I can get it done properly because I am pretty new at the editing system that I have, or the editing program. So hopefully I can get this thing put together so that everybody can understand what I'm doing. So I'm pretty new at editing videos. So the first thing, these are all my directions. This is the goat's milk soap that most of these measurements are my measurements. This is my personal recipe. So in a stainless steel bowl, add water. So we need 2 cups of water. So I always use, well, I can just use tap water for me because I'm on a well, so I have no chlorine, and my water is perfectly healthy. It gets checked every year to make sure that the biology is okay. There's no bacteria or anything in it. I better grab a steel bowl. Okay. I'll use the one on the mixing machine because that's the one we're going to be using anyway. So there's 2 cups of water. Okay, now this is the part where you got to add lye slowly. Okay, the first time I did this, I actually burnt myself. So now you have to be careful. I usually do it inside the big sink. Because lye, once you put lye in water, it really gets hot fast. And the only way you can neutralize lye in water is by vinegar. That'll stop the burn right away. So like I put water in this one, so I can't use it with lye. This one's dry, it's a cup. So we need a cup, stainless steel bowl, add lye. Lye is a cup and a half. So this is a cup, 1 cup. You add it slowly Do not add it all in one time. You kind of got to just add it slowly into the mixture. And don't hold your nose over it because it does give off a fume. Once I get it all mixed, I usually put it under the stove and turn the exhaust fan on so that the fan takes all the fumes outside. So now we need a half cup. There's a half cup of lye. Whoa! I just got a sniff of it myself. It's pretty strong. Like I said, it's strong, so you have to kind of keep your head back. I put it on my stove, turn the fan on full blast, so it sucks all the moisture, all the fumes outside. Okay, so right now what we have to do, we'll have to allow the lye and water to cool down to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we have to add milk. And I always let it cool between the temperatures between 85 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I use Fahrenheit because it's just easier for me. I've always used Fahrenheit in this thing. So then we'll also have to warm the lard slowly to 90 degrees. So now the thing that's most important when it comes to the lard and the milk mixed with the lye and water is those temperatures really need to be as close to the same temperature as possible. And I'll explain later why that's important. Okay, right now, I guess the thing that we have to do the most right at the moment is to wait for the temperatures to get set. And that usually takes 45 to 60 minutes for the lye to cool down. Okay, this is the coconut oil. I'm going to add this to the lard that's on the stove right now. It's a little hard because I keep it in my cold room. So, just got to make sure I get about at least 2 cups. There's 1 cup. You can add that to the pot. Now I don't think you can see, well maybe, yeah. I was thinking you couldn't see the pot on the stove. My lard's already melted, so what I'll do is I'll get it all to melt, coconut oil and the lard, mix it all together really well. And then I'll turn the lard off because it usually takes quite a bit of time for the lye and the water to cool down to the right temperature. So, and then once the lye and water cools down, then we can add the goat's milk, which is frozen. I always use frozen goat's milk because less chance of burning it when you add it to the lye, because it will eat back up again or get hot again. So you don't want the milk to get burnt, because if it does, it'll change the smell a little bit. It won't really change the consistency of your soap, but it will change the smell of it, and we don't want a burny smell. So yeah, like I've done goat's milk with many different scents, but I think for me my favorite one is clove, and my wife's as well, Dell's as well. So this time, that's all I'm doing is just clove in my soap this time around. But we used to sell this quite a bit one time, but we kind of slowed down on selling it because it costs a fair amount of money to make this stuff. Lye is not cheap, coconut oil is not cheap. Lard is not bad for us because we use our own, we make our own lard from the animals that we raise. We only use pork lard, because if you use beef lard has a much stronger taste and smell, so we don't use that lard for anything really. But now our pork lard, and well, with pigs you get a lot more lard. than you do with beef. So, okay. That's 2 cups. I'm going to add a little bit more because this is frozen and so hard that there's lots of air gaps in between what I'm putting into the measuring cups. So I'm going to add a little bit more just to make sure we got at least 2 full cups of pure oil. Yeah, it took me a few times to get the soap to work out properly. The first one I didn't do it. I did everything by temperatures and measurements and all that stuff, but I didn't quite get it to work properly. It looked kind of funny. It just dried with, it looked like 2 layers of soap on one bar. But I solved that problem. I don't do that anymore. Okay, so we'll have to wait for a while now. Just about the trace right now. I'll show you what that means in a minute. Now I hope you'll be able to see this. I'm going to try this video camera with it. Okay. Sorry if it's a little shaky, but... Okay. Sorry if it's a little shaky, but I got to use my left hand. So trace is when you can see the drizzle. When you mix it and you kind of run it along the top and you can see that it kind of sits on the top for a few seconds. So that lets you know that the chemical reaction is complete and you're ready to add your essential oils. And I always had just a little bit of... So that lets you know that the chemical reaction is complete and you're ready to add your essential oils. And I always had just a little bit of oats. I mill them really fine so that your soap isn't rough when you use it. It helps just kind of, I guess, well, you know that oats are good for your skin, right? It's a moisturizing thing, I guess. It holds more moisture. So I always had a little bit of oats in my mixture first. I gotta do this quick because once trace starts, it can get thick pretty quick, and then it makes it really difficult to put it into the molds. So now I'm just adding my clove, my essential oil clove. I never really measure this, I just do it by scent. So, I mean, everybody's going to want a different amount of scent in their soap. So if you're making this, you just do it to the way you like it. This has turned out to be a really good batch of soap. It's pretty messy when it gets to this stage because now you kind of got to rush a little bit because it's starting to get really thick. So we got to get it into the mold before it gets too thick. And I've had this one time before get to the point where it was so hard I had to scrape it out to get it into the molds. So here we go. Now you get an idea of why goat soap is so expensive in the stores, because it is a lot of work. Even when they do it in commercial, it's still a tremendous amount of work to this. Because it takes 3 to 4 days for it to dry properly before it can be used. Because it needs to kind of dry from the inside out. I had to cover this with saran wrap, just poly, because I don't want it to get a cloudy foam over the top, because where I have wood heat, the air in my home is pretty dry, even though I keep a big pot of water on my wood stove, but it's still pretty dry in here, and if it dries too quick, sometimes it'll get a cloudy, white, dusty, I guess you would call it, I don't know, almost like a chalk on the top of the soap, and I don't want that. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to the soap. Soap's fine. As soon as you put it in the water, it goes away, but I would just rather not have it there. It's just me. It's not that important, but for me, I like to have it as close to perfect as possible, I guess. Because see, for me, I use goat soap for everything. My shampoo, I use it all. My wife don't really use it for shampoo. I like it for my hair because it strips all the crap out of it and it keeps it nice and clean. And I love it because it's exfoliating. And it goat soap has a, well, it's the milk that's the goat's milk has an enzyme in it that likes to help dissolve dead skin cells. So that's why if you use goat soap a lot, it actually could help you, potentially help you look younger. Now, whether that's true or not, you'd have to try it yourself and make your own decisions, but it's not going to hurt you, that's for sure. So that's why I like it. And it's almost, well, I mean, it's pretty much natural. I know exactly what's in it, so it's not like all these soaps you get into the stores and that, you have no idea what's in those things, because they'll do it so that their trace is, you know, almost instant. I don't know how they do that, but I can't say anything about them, but this is how I do my soap, and I really like it. Works out really well for me. So now what I got to do is, after I get this spread out properly, I have to take saran wrap and kind of cover it all. Just like I said, just to keep that film from coming over the top. Alright, it's been 2 days now, so it's time to take the saran wrap off the soap. It's dry. Well, not dry, but it's semi-dry. It's time to take it out of the molds and put it on my rack. This is a rack I built, about 15 years ago, I guess. See, this is your bars of soap. Nice size. This soap actually turned out quite well this time. So we'll place it all on here. And we'll let it cure for probably another 4 days, and I'll put it in my cold room so it doesn't dry too fast. Some of the benefits of goat soap is that it can help with eczema, psoriasis, dry skin, help your skin look younger. It's because it's non-stripping soap, so it moisturizes really well, and it's really good for the skin. This is pretty much, you know, the only type of soap that I've been using for 15 years. I love it. My wife loves it. We've had many customers love it. So yeah, we'll put it on here and let it dry for 15 days, and then the soap will be ready to use. I hope you enjoyed the video I made for making goat soap. I hope you take it up on yourself to give it a try. If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It helps my channel grow. I'm just starting out, so my videos may not be the best ones you've ever watched, but hopefully they'll get better as I learn how to use my editing tools better, and maybe learn more what people are more interested in watching. Thanks again.